If you're a fan of James Allison at Mercedes, your stomach might have briefly dropped when the Formula One team published an announcement headlined by the words "Mercedes evolves technical leadership." But while the world champion team's latest top brass reshuffle does feature another Mercedes promotion from within and a new technical director, it's not about Allison's exit. From July 1st this year, Allison will be promoted to Chief Technical Officer, with Mike Elliott replacing him as Technical Director. Mercedes has had to create a new role to keep Allison on board, which shows his immense value to the title-winning juggernaut and is also indicative of a key Mercedes strength. If you like the idea of Allison staying at Mercedes, or you just enjoy this video, how about hitting us with a thumbs up at any point, and remember to subscribe to the race if you haven't already. But now let's look at what Mercedes is doing differently, why it's doing it now, and what comes next. Allison has led the Mercedes technical department since early 2017, but the team says it's known for a while that he didn't intend to continue in that position beyond this season. The man himself even referenced having a shelf life, so his departure would have been a real possibility without the right role to move into. That role has been found in the form of the newly created Chief Technical Officer position, which gives him the fresh challenge and responsibility required to keep him on board. In return, Mercedes retains one of F1's most respected individuals and has a revised structure designed to meet what the team calls strategic challenges coming in 2022. We'll get onto those shortly, but it's worth focusing on the significance of Allison taking on this new role first. Even if he never intended, let alone wanted to leave, Mercedes would never have entertained the prospect of losing such an experienced and important individual. Team boss Toto Wolff says Allison has exceptional moral character, and his official comment in the team's announcement even recognised that the team created this new role to keep him within our motorsport family. So at a time when team spending is under massive scrutiny, Mercedes has seen fit to evolve its structure in a way that gives Allison the influence, motivation and recompense necessary to keep him on its side of the fence. No individual makes or breaks a modern F1 team because they are such expansive operations, but the Wolff-Allison axis has proven to be ultra effective for Mercedes, so it makes total sense, with Wolff extending his own contract to cover the next few years, that finding a way to keep Allison as well was a big priority. It might be tempting to view this as a knee-jerk reaction to Mercedes falling behind Red Bull with the 2021 rule changes, but it isn't. It's also not just a quick fix to keep Allison on board. It's something to help future-proof the organisation and is the latest example of Mercedes' ability to evolve to meet new challenges. This year is the first of the new budget cap, development restrictions are tighter than ever, and teams are busy developing new cars for all new technical rules coming in next year. Learning, adapting and improving its processes within a new era of cost control and different rules, especially with a new engine formula and fuels on the horizon as well, will be vital to Mercedes not being caught out by F1's much changed landscape. In the past, Mercedes benefited enormously by being proactive, splitting work for the new 2014 rules into a separate technical project. Jeff Willis was employed as project leader of the chassis and was dedicated to that program from a conceptual stage, and over 12 to 18 months this was handed over to the head of the engineering group, Aldo Costa, who started to turn that car into reality. That gave the 2014 car tremendous focus and played a vital part in Mercedes becoming F1's leading force at the start of the V6 turbo hybrid era. Though the lead time for 2022 is not so significant, it seems logical that the timing of Allison's switch on July 1st will play into the development program for 2022 and beyond. Mercedes says that in his new role, Allison will work to help ensure that the team always has the right capability to meet its needs. Wolff expects him to be a sparring partner, a phrase previously reserved only for the late Niki Lauda, while Allison himself says he'll focus on increasing our capability across the board and supporting Toto with the major strategic challenges we face in the near future. It might be argued that this would have been beneficial 12 months ago to maximise the run-up to the new technical rules and put the structure in place before the financial rules came into place for 2021. But Allison was, and for now still is, technical director, so he's been involved in all of that already. He would have overseen the early concept work on 2022 before wind tunnel development was suspended until January 1st of this year. He'd have overseen the decision to cease development of the 2020 car early to focus on the 2021 aero rule changes, and he'd have been an enormous part of the process to slash Mercedes' technical spending to get down to the cost cap. Essentially, Allison's had all the input into the genesis of the new 2022 car that he needs, and can now hand the day-to-day management of that project over for Elliott to oversee. And as those wider strategic challenges are a big threat, there is a lot to learn and optimise within the new limitations. It will be interesting to discover how Allison's new role directly impacts Mercedes' spending within the budget cap. Allison will likely be one of the 3 team personnel whose salary is exempt from the budget cap, but his new role could take him out of that entirely, as it also includes the Brixworth engine division. So he isn't strictly a race team employee anymore, and therefore is not bound by the budget cap at all. That could let another member of staff become one of the top 3 earners, so their salary is exempt, and therefore Mercedes saves more money. This is important, as Wolff says Mercedes is counting every few thousands of pounds to ensure it gets under the budget cap. But that's a small detail. The main thing now is that Wolff says Mercedes views its team as a dynamic organism and needs to adapt continuously if it wants to truly thrive. He also points out that effective succession planning has been a strength of the team, and he's right. Just look at how it handled Allison's arrival and Paddy Lowe's exit, Costa's decision to leave, and engine chief Andy Cowell's resignation. Through all of that, the team never stopped winning. In fact, in 2020, it was stronger than ever. Approaching new challenges with greater pressure than ever as rivals continue to improve means Allison's new role will not have been created lightly, and there's also little reason to doubt the appointment of Elliott as his successor. Elliott has been under Allison's wing for a long time, working with him at Enstone prior to joining Mercedes as head of aerodynamics in 2012. When Allison joined Mercedes 5 years later, the same season Elliott was promoted to Mercedes technology director, the pair was reunited. Wolff says his appointment and an exceptional group of senior technical leaders puts Mercedes in the best possible position for the sport's next era. That sentiment was echoed by Allison, who calls Elliott an exceptional engineer and says he'll bring freshness to the technical director role. In accepting that new job, Elliott's referred to the great pleasure and privilege to work for Allison so far and having big shoes to fill. But he also noted that the team will still be able to call on Allison's expertise, and said the leadership strength at every level through the company will be vital to our future success. And ultimately, that's something Mercedes has relied on for a very long time. Allison's continuation as part of an evolved structure with tremendous strength in depth is a textbook example of how the team has stayed on top by adapting to meet any and all new challenges. But what do you think? Could this be the moment the Mercedes dream team starts to unravel, or is it just a case of the best getting better again? Let us know in the comments below, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe to The Race if you haven't already to join us again for our future videos.